Hello, this is Richard Church, and I'm here to talk about a book I just read, which is 12-Week Year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. And this is a great book on organizations and how to make your life a little bit easier to live. And basically, this first premise is that when people set their goals for the year, that 12 months away is too far to keep in mind. And it's also too far to really buy into. And some people do quarterly, but basically for quarterly, they do, well, if I make 100,000 by the end of the year, I need to make 25, 25, 25. And that doesn't work because we don't feel compelled to finish it off because we think, well, I'll catch it up in February, March, April, May. And by the time we get into the summer and in the fall, we are really hustling, trying to catch up to make our goals. And this idea is like, if you have a 12-week, and we know that quarters are 13 weeks, so you have a whole week to celebrate and reevaluate what we've done for the first 12. So you have those 12 weeks to work in. And in those 12 weeks, we're going to do a couple of different things. And this is our goals, not someone else's goals. You can do it for your business if you want. And if you do that, you need people to buy into it. And the way that they buy into it, they have to see how it benefits them and how you need their goals to become part of your goal. Not tell them this is your goal. They need to come up with it. And so the first part of this is about having a vision of what you want your life to be. Because if you don't have a strong enough vision, when things get hard, then they kind of fall apart, say, well, that's too hard, forget it. Well, I can stop off for now. That's the whole problem of the 1 year is that people think I can catch up later. When you have 12-week year, what you do is you have one goal. You focus on, this is my main goal for these 3 months. And that main goal, it's your goal. It could be, you can have more than one goal. A lot of us have a business goal, a relationship goal, and I don't know, just a physical goal. I'm going to exercise, I'm going to healthier, I'm going to eat what I'm supposed to, I'm going to get a medical checkup. It depends on you. You get to decide what your goals are. They are your goals. Because the only person you're accountable is to yourself. Some would say, well, I'm going to do this if you don't do that. Well, you always have a choice. And as one of the authors said in this book, you have a choice on April 15th. You can file your taxes or you can go to prison, but you still have a choice. So we always have a choice. And we can choose what we think is most beneficial to us in the long run. There's an Abraham Lincoln quote, which I love. He says something about the discipline is doing what will benefit us in the future instead of doing what's nice now. Okay, it's the little squirrels. So I could just eat this nut right now, and that'd be great. Or I could store them up for the winter. Okay, that's a simple example. Anyway, so we have our 12-week goals, and these are there. We have a tactic. Okay, we have our tactics. And our tactics is things that will help us do our goals. And when we set up a tactic, it's something that it will help be an important part of that goal. They say that there's an 80-20 rule. Everyone's heard this Pareto principle. And basically they say that 20% of what you do gives you 80% of your results. And so a lot of people say, well, why do I do that other for 80%? That's the question. Why? If we can get out of it and do it, learn to say no in a nice way, okay? But to say, if you're working on someone else's goals, you need to be able to make it work within your goals as well, or you need to be able to delegate it to someone else, or just saying that's not going to get done because it's not that important. Okay, that's something that you need to figure out for yourself. That's for all of us to do. So anyway, one of the main parts of any kind of goal setting is writing it down, okay? And the way we write it down is a special way of doing it. Okay, these are my goals, sort of. You probably can't read them, but that doesn't matter so much. let's see how you do that. Okay. And basically, these are my, um, well, that's about here. I have my 12-week goals, which are on some paper here. These are my 12-week goals. So this is my vision for the future. Okay, you can't see that. These are three different kinds of goals. I have a goal about um, doing this program, and I'm working on my business. And then I'm also in my business, I am also need to be healthy. So I'm going to be walking 2 miles 3 times a week and doing push-ups and planking 6 days a week in the mornings before I have breakfast. And then I have some other goals, which is about uh, growing my Facebook groups. So those are my three goals, and each goal has, these are short because I started this in February. Okay, so it's actually, this is like 7 weeks long. Okay, so that when I come to the second quarter, I can start to do my 12 weeks from there. But this is my 7 week goals, compacted from the 12, and basically this is what I need to do. I have listed this week I do this week second, next week this, for all of these guys. And for my health stuff, they're basically the same every week. Okay. And I say I'm going to do push-ups. My idea is to keep getting them up. Right now I'm doing about 25. I'd like to do 50 by the end of this, but that's not my goal. My goal is really to uh, lose about 13 pounds, which is gets me down to 180. Okay. So that's my goal. Anyway, um, that's what you do. You write those things down, and then after you have them figured out, and you do this, I do this week by week. I have this is my week one goal, my week one activities towards my goal, and this is the ones for my business, for my health, and for growing my Facebook group. So these are my goals here. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about those. Um, Once you write them down, you can every day you know what am I supposed to do today? And you can look at Tuesday of this goal, first goal here, first week, and I know exactly what to do because it says it right there. And you do that every day, and then the next thing is you score them. Okay, now you might have 2 or 3 things per day that you want to score on, and if you do them all, you get 100%. If you do 4 out of 5, you get 80%, and down, 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 down. But the thing is, you're scoring, and you keep it up to date, and you do that every day. And at the end of the week, you evaluate it and realize that, especially when you're beginning this first group of doing the 12-week program, it's about learning how to do it. Okay, so we don't beat ourselves up. In fact, we never beat ourselves up because it's just data. Where there's, I should have gone left, I went right. That's just data. Next time I know to go left. Okay. Same thing with anything else is like, I was going to do this, but I didn't know enough to do it. Well, next time, an earlier tactic is to learn this material so that when you get to that day when you're supposed to be doing it, you know how to do it. And there's all kinds of information that you don't realize some things that you need to learn until you get to a point where you think, I don't know what I'm doing. And so you got to reevaluate. And then as you write your new 12-week goals in, some months away, then you know that, okay, do I really know enough about this? No, then I better schedule some study time. Okay. So that's what we do. On week 13, because there's 13 weeks in a quarter, right? Okay, what do you do in 13 weeks? Well, on the 13th week, we can evaluate what we have. Okay, what did I do? We can start making our next group. So you could actually start that at the beginning of the 12-week section. If you do the first week as planning, you could do that. The other thing is we can celebrate. You can celebrate your success. You could take a vacation, which might be, I'm not going into the office. If you're working at home, saying I'm going to go out and walk my dog, or I'm going to take a vacation to a nearby town and have fun with my wife or your other spouse, your significant other. So there's lots of things you can do, but that's kind of the gist I picked up from the first reading a 12-week year. I will say something though, that this is, I don't know if you can see this, but I highlighted a lot of stuff in this book. I'm gonna read it again and maybe highlight some different things, but that'll remind me to look at those a second time and see what else I can draw out. But this book was so packed with information. It was actually fairly short. It's 189 pages, I believe, which is, and it's an easy read. They're not complicated ideas. In fact, he talks about it's not that we don't know enough. It's usually that what we know we don't do. Okay, we all know to eat right, exercise, and stuff like that, but most of us don't, and that's why I needed to lose and get down to 180. Okay, so we all have our own things that we struggle with, but the idea of this is it takes a lot of the procrastination out of it. I'm a writer. I've written a novel which is called The Night the Cats Left Socorro. It's on Amazon and other online retailers. And I'm writing a new book, and now and then another one comes up saying, "Oh, you should write this, and you should write that." And you write it out, blah, 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 and set it aside. You know, if something comes up, some things are emergencies and need to be urgently taken care of, but most things are just distractions. And I will admit that I have the shiny object syndrome, you know, oh, there's something here, there's something here. My wife teased me. She saw this shirt in a catalog one time and said, "I finally cured my ADD. Hey, look, a chicken." And that's me. Okay, I get distracted easy. But now with this thing, I could think of, what am I supposed to be doing, and pull myself back to it quickly, if not immediately. And that's why I could get more stuff done. Even though I've just done this a few days, I wrote 3 long pages of a website yesterday because that was my time. I had to do those, and so it will help you in whatever your venture is. And that's all I have to say for now. I really appreciate you coming on and looking at my video. Thank you. Goodbye.